Imagine a child born under a red sky. They have never felt rain, never walked beside an ocean, and never breathed open air. Their heart, mind, and face are still human. But now let the years become centuries. Then let the centuries become thousands of years, and then maybe more. At what point would their descendants stop being us? Could humanity split into two species? The answer does not begin with mutants, monsters, or science fiction costumes. It begins much more quietly. A species is not just a look. In biology, a big part of the idea is whether populations can still mix and have healthy children together. And that matters because all living humans today are one species. This is not a story about race. Human races are social categories, not separate biological branches of humanity. A real split would need something much stronger. It would need separation, and it would need time. On Earth, separation is hard to keep. People move, meet, fall in love, and mix their family histories. That flow of genes blurs the edges before they can harden. A mountain valley or an island can isolate people for a while. But for humans, while travel and exchange continue, that is usually not enough. Space changes the scale of the problem. A colony beyond easy travel could become a human island in the dark. If almost nobody returns, the mixing slows down. The first settlers would carry only a small slice of human genetic variation. That is called a founder effect. It means the future population begins from a random sample, not the whole human library. Over many generations, chance alone can pull that population in a new direction. But chance is only one force. A new world would also create new pressures. Gravity might be weaker. Bones, muscles, balance, and pregnancy would all face different rules. Radiation might be harsher outside the magnetic shield around Earth. Air, food, disease, and sunlight might all be controlled by machines. Evolution does not need drama to work. It only needs tiny differences that matter again and again. If some children handle low gravity better, they may have an advantage there. But the same body might struggle back on Earth. That is how adaptation can become local. But adaptation alone is still not a new species. The key is a barrier to mixing. Scientists call this reproductive isolation. It can mean two populations cannot have children together, or it can mean they no longer choose each other as partners. Language, customs, laws, and distance can become invisible walls first. The body may follow later. Before we go deeper, if strange future stories are your thing, like and subscribe. It helps Nakora keep opening these impossible doors. There is another path, and it is faster than natural evolution. Deliberate genetic editing. Today, editing genes that pass to children is surrounded by safety and ethical warnings. It is not something humanity can treat casually, but in a far future, isolated societies might make different choices. One colony might edit children for stronger radiation repair. Another might adapt bodies for life in dark ocean cities. Another might live in spinning habitats where up and down are engineered. Each solution could solve a local problem, but thousands of local solutions could slowly pull humanity apart. That would not mean one group is better. It would mean different bodies fit different worlds. The danger is compatibility. If every colony edits in its own direction, the shared human blueprint may begin to drift. And biology is not the only force. Culture can isolate people before genes do. Languages can change until conversation becomes translation. Clocks can change when a world has a different day. Childhood can change when gravity, danger, and home all feel different. Over time, people may stop imagining outsiders as possible partners. A psychological wall can become a biological wall if it lasts long enough. The first signs would probably be boring to look at. Not extra limbs, not giant heads, not glowing eyes. The real sign might be fertility statistics. Pregnancies that are harder across populations. Children who need the gravity, chemistry, or microbes of one specific world to develop normally. Bodies that are healthy at home but fragile somewhere else. That is where the edge of species begins to feel real. The strange part is that nobody might notice at first. Earth and Mars could still send messages. They could trade music, stories, inventions, and jokes. They might call each other cousins for a very long time. The word human might stretch before it breaks. Or maybe it never breaks at all. Technology could fight speciation as strongly as it creates it. Colonies could share embryos, gene libraries, and medical designs. They could deliberately keep the human family tree braided together. Even if bodies changed, culture could keep pulling people back into one story. So, the future is not only biology. It is also travel, law, medicine, culture, and choice. A simple test is the nursery. Where can children grow safely without extraordinary help? If Mars-born babies need Mars gravity, Mars medicine, and Mars microbes, that matters. If Earth-born babies cannot develop normally there, that matters too. The two worlds would still talk, but their nurseries would stop being interchangeable. Childhood is where biology and culture hold hands. The games children play, the food they digest, and the air they breathe all become part of selection. After enough generations, a body can begin to assume its world. Returning home would not feel like returning home anymore, and visiting the colony might feel just as difficult for Earth-born people. No wall has to be built for that to matter. The environment itself becomes the wall. A third place could make it even stranger. People born in orbit might never think of ground as normal. To them, a planet could feel like a giant trap pulling forever downward. That is not only anatomy, it is psychology. Home trains the body, but it also trains the imagination. Now, imagine two descendants meeting after 10,000 years apart. They may still use some of the same words, but their bodies may expect different worlds. A doctor might notice the difference before a poet does. A family might notice it before a government does. That is how a fork can begin quietly. No announcement, no single date, no dramatic transformation. Just small differences, protected by distance, repeated for a very long time. Our cat would probably write in the margin, watch the children. There is no destiny that says humanity must split. But there is also no rule that says we cannot. Give a population enough distance, enough pressure, and enough time, and life changes. 1,000,000 years is a ridiculous amount of time for a civilization. For evolution, it is a serious beginning. Now imagine 10 million years across many worlds. Would every descendant of humanity still fit inside one biological doorway? Maybe not. The future might hold many humanities, not aliens from somewhere else. Our descendants, shaped by places we have never stood. They might remember Earth the way we remember a childhood home. A blue place in old stories. Our little cat narrator would probably draw a line from them back to us. Because the question is not only what they become, it is what we decide humanity means. Biology may draw one kind of line, but our moral imagination may draw another. If humanity ever splits, the first question should not be which branch is superior. The better question is whether the branches still recognize the same root. One day, a person born under a red sky may look at Earth and feel no pull at all. Or they may feel exactly what we would feel looking at home from far away. Could humanity split into two species? Yes, but not soon, not simply, and not because of the differences people argue about today. The recipe would be isolation, pressure, inheritance, and deep time. And the weirdest part is that the split might begin while everyone still says the word human. By the time the word no longer fits, it may already be too late to know where the fork began.